guys saw what I saw when I got it out of the box, I take it back. Honestly guys, what is going on? Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, as you can see by the title, I am so excited to be testing the Ordinary concealer. I found out about this literally about 2 days ago. I ordered it straight away and I was like, I need to test it all with you. I'm so excited. Every time I see a new product, I'm like, I want to test it all, I want to show you all, because I feel like we're all best friends here and I literally feel like I'm just talking to my best friends. So I really am so excited for you to see what I thought of this. It is a very different concealer to anything I've tried before, and I did have a few moments where I was quite shocked at what it consists of, but overall this is my finished makeup. So obviously you will see how I created it and what I thought of the concealer from the first reveal of the opening of the product and until the very end. So before we start this video, please make sure to subscribe down below and hit the like button. If you find this useful or if you just enjoy seeing me testing it out, that would mean the world. I really hope you're all doing well as well. I think lockdown 3 has been the hardest out of all of them. I don't know if it's just because it's a third lockdown. Yeah, it's not been great. I am sending all my love, I really am. It's not very nice and I don't really think there's a way to. You can't ever force yourself to feel positive, or I'm not gonna like try and force you to feel a certain way. Like obviously we all are dealing with our own thoughts and your mind is something that obviously you live with forever, and it's quite, sometimes you just want an escape. So I hope this video can help as a distraction, and I hope you do enjoy seeing me do my makeup, because I know I love to watch YouTube if I'm just feeling a bit stressed or anything like that. I just love to come on here and not really forget, but you've got to have some you time where you're not constantly thinking. So I really hope this video is something that you enjoy watching, and without further ado, I'm just going to get straight into the video. So I'm so excited for this video. I literally cannot wait. As you can see, I really need some concealer. I have applied some moisturiser already. I used the Avant moisturiser, which just looks like this, and then I also used the Clinique Moisture Surge like 10 minutes before, because obviously I want my face to be very moisturised before I do go on and apply my base. So as you all know, if you've been following me for a while, I always go in with concealer here and then I do my foundation up to about there, and then I go in with concealer again. So I am going to be using the concealer to start with. I sometimes use the P. Louise base, but then the second concealer I always use a concealer. But for the purpose of the video, I am just going to use the concealer. I'm so excited. So I actually ordered 2. So they come in these boxes. They are quite small. I ordered the foundation because I'm going to use the foundation today. Not this exact box because this is just a new one, but it's nearly run out. So I just want to show you the size difference. In the foundation, I think the foundation is about £5 or £6 and it's 30 mils, and I was quite confused really because the concealer is 8 mils. Now that is very small. I know a lot of concealers are around like 8 to 10. I got the shades 1.2Y and 1.2YG, which is light with yellow undertones and then light with yellow undertones with a gold highlight. Oh, they're tiny. Oh my god. I'm sorry. Have you seen how small these are? Okay, imagine my little finger is literally so small and it's literally the size of my little finger. It's tiny, like tiny. So it does come in a squeezy bottle without the applicator. Now I actually prefer this because I don't really use the applicator anyway. I tend to use a brush and I'd always way prefer to do that. So I think it's way better that they have done it like that, especially when it comes to keep applying the same applicator on your skin. And obviously if you've got clients, this is much better because at the moment the only concealer I use that's a squeezy one is the P. Louise base, and obviously it's a lot thicker, so this is really good that it is actually. So I've just applied the smallest amount to my hand. I'm really happy with the shade. Obviously you can get lots of shades. So, oh okay, it's a lot lighter than I thought. It looks a lot warmer on my hand than than when I actually put it on. First of all, my first impressions when applying it, it isn't completely full coverage. I would say it was light to medium coverage, and it's definitely something that you can build by the looks of it. It's definitely not full coverage. So I'm just going to blend it in with a bigger brush. It does, oh, it blends very well. Oh my gosh, that's blended so nicely. That didn't take very long, did it? That's blended so nicely. I did actually think for this video as well, I wasn't really sure whether to use the Ordinary foundation because I thought obviously they're going to be a very similar formula, and I didn't really know. Obviously I don't use a Morphe concealer with my Morphe foundation. Like, I don't tend to use the same brands because I like to kind of use different formulas, but I am mixing the Ordinary with the Morphe one today. So I really like that so far. It's definitely brightened up my eyes. I looked so tired at the start of this video. I think I've cut this eyelash a bit too short, and then because of that, like, I think it kind of, yeah, do you know what I mean? I do look very tired today, I feel like. I think it's about like 7 o'clock now. So I'm really impressed. It's blended very well. It hasn't shown up my pores. A lot of concealers really like enlarge my pores and make it look really cakey even though I've only applied it once. But it really hasn't. I'm really impressed. So I'm going to go ahead and apply my foundation and then apply the next layer and see what I think. So I actually use 1.2 white for that part of my eye, the first concealer swatch. Now I'm going to use the 1.2 YG. I'm just going to kind of apply it straight onto my skin and see by squeezing it how much I actually get out of it. Although it's not full coverage, I did seem to get quite a lot out of the last one, and I literally put the tiniest bit on my hand. So I'm just going to start with my forehead just because I don't really want that to be so bright. So I normally like leave the areas that I want to be the brightest till last so that they have a bit more time to sit in. So you do get quite a lot of product. I feel like a little bit goes a long way. Maybe that's why they are so small, but I was so shocked how small they were. Like, honestly, when you hold it in your hand, it really is really small. I really like how these blend. They are very affordable as well. It's just a little bit annoying. Like, obviously, I know at the moment we can't anyway, but I suppose you can't really get them from your drugstore stores. I don't think you can anyway. I also have really dry skin right by my lips, so please ignore that. It looks kind of like really unblended and like I've just got something there, but it's just dry skin. I literally never have had dry skin either, so it's very like random. Honestly, it's blended really well. It's blended really well with the foundation as well. Like, I kind of assumed that they kind of expect people to use them together. I have to say one thing, it's creased the least amount that any concealer has ever creased, which probably makes it one of the best concealers. I can't really talk seriously when I literally have concealer lips, but I genuinely, obviously you have your creases under your eye. It doesn't feel dry, it just feels kind of like fresh, and I don't even know if you can really describe it that way, but it just kind of feels like my skin just looks really healthy and glowy, and it's really not cakey at all. Now, I actually think my skin's quite full covered now, even though it's not really a full coverage concealer. I do think that is partly due to me using 2 lots, because if I'd have just used one, which you saw before, it was good, but close up you could see that it wasn't fully covering any areas. So I do think the 2 coats makes all the difference. But I'm literally so happy so far. I actually think this is probably one of the best concealers I have ever bought, just purely, I was very disappointed by the size of it, but actually it doesn't like feel like I've used half of it up, and I do feel like I've used quite a lot, and it doesn't really, it still feels completely full. So if somebody gave you that, you would think it's just brand new, do you know what I mean? So considering the size of it, I do actually think it would last me quite a long time. I take it back. Honestly guys, what is going on? This is 8mm. And this is 3.5mm. So my NYX one looks a lot bigger, but this has twice the amount of product in. Why did I think that, and this is like this is double the price. Just look very small, but I suppose what's really good about it, a little bit like a toothpaste tube, you can obviously squeeze it out when it's getting near the end, whereas with one of these I always find you always have product left over and you can't really get the wand to go to all the edges. So actually maybe I was wrong. I am going to go and finish the full face of my makeup and come back with my final thoughts. So honestly, like, I honestly haven't done my highlighter yet. I just want to talk about it because I honestly want to talk about it because you all saw what I saw when I got it out of the box. Like, I did not expect it to be that small, but the fact it's 8mm, I actually thought that wasn't very much, but then look at my next one that lasted me absolutely months using it every day. Well, probably like 2 months using it every day, and then I use that would be like double the amount of time. The only thing I would say is you probably have to be careful how much you're squeezing out, because you obviously, well, the same with an applicator, you can't get it back in, but with an applicator there's only a certain amount that you can get out, whereas obviously with this you can literally squeeze the whole bottle if you wanted to. So I would say that was probably the only thing I would say, because I just know, like, do you know what it is? Like, I think you typically get a concealer in a longer bottle, and because it's so small you do kind of think like, really? Whereas actually you're getting so much for your money, and it's less packaging, it's less bulky, you can obviously travel with it easier. It's actually quite cute, like if you wanted to just stand them all on the side, whereas a normal concealer I do find like sometimes they're really like unsteady if I try and stack them up. But yeah, I really I think it's simple, I think it's nice, I think it works very well. I wasn't sure because the foundation's very medium coverage and I like to build it, or I definitely mix it with another foundation, so I wasn't sure how the concealer would work, purely because I think concealers they tend to be more of a light to medium rather than a full coverage concealer, but I actually would say this was a medium to full, and once I builded it, it really is full coverage, and I just feel like I would wear this all day and it wouldn't budge. But based on my first impression, it is definitely one of my favourite concealers that I've ever tried, and I think that's quite a bold statement to make when you've only tried it once, but it just works so well. I feel like my skin looks so hydrated because of the fact it's quite dewy, it's not a matte foundation and it's not a matte concealer, it is quite a dewy mix. You might think like obviously using them together wouldn't create that much coverage. My entire face I just feel like is quite glowy and fresh, and it just feels like very light on my skin, so I don't feel like very cakey, I don't feel like very dry from my powder afterwards. I don't feel like it's like completely consumed the powder to the point where the powder and the concealer are like cake, because I think that happens quite a lot and your powder can kind of look very cakey once you put it on the concealer, and I don't actually think that is always the powder's fault, particularly because I've used this powder with this concealer today and I've used the same powder with other ones and it just looked more cakey, and so I know it is the concealer. I'm literally so impressed with how it's turned out. I really hope you've enjoyed this little like mini tutorial testing video. I find these so much fun. I was so excited when I found out. It literally looks so flawless. If you've tried the foundation you'll definitely like it, but it does actually work really well with it, which I am impressed with, and it's very hard I think to create a really good foundation and a really good concealer, and I think they've smashed it, so I'm really pleased I got to try this. So that is the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed seeing my full reaction. I enjoyed filming this so much. I literally am obsessed. When I first got the foundation in about May or April, I absolutely loved it, and I didn't really ever think about them doing a concealer, so I'm so glad they have done. I'm really impressed. I don't know, I just feel like it's such a different concealer that I've ever tried before. And I have to say, like, it's probably one of my favourite concealers that I've ever bought. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Also, don't forget I have a brand new video up on Sunday. I'm literally so excited for you to all see it. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I love you all so much, and I will see you all very soon in a brand new video. Bye! time when you look at yourself in the mirror, you're just like, wow. And you look in the camera and you're like, you know what, if you feel like that, don't worry, because when you take a picture of the sky, you don't ever think, oh, well, it looks so much better in real life, the sky must be ugly. Like, you're not ugly, you're just, your mirror just is more realistic than your camera. So I'm sure one day Apple will have an upgrade. I love what I look like.